we go.
Skylar's loving it.
It's looking good.
All right, Mayor, it looks like you got all of your council members. You are live and you're recording, so your meeting is in order.
Okay, thank you. So we're ready to go, and we have a guest with us tonight for public comment just here in a few moments. But if we could please go ahead and call our meeting to order, and if we could stand for a moment of silence. And then I'd like to ask Marvin if he would say the pledge for us.
Be honored, Mayor. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all.
Great. Thank you, Marvin.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Tom.
I'll explain to the council and to the public that Tracy is not with us tonight. Our prayers are with Tracy as she's dealing with a very serious family health emergency tonight. So since Tracy is not with us, if I could just ask for a motion and a second to allow Devin to take our minutes for us tonight in lieu of the city clerk.
Motion, Mayor.
Thank you.
Second.
And seconded. If there are no questions, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. And are there any opposed? Good. Then Devin, you will do multi-roles tonight. and thank you for that. Just stop me at any point if we're not clear on the motion in the second. Let's see, Devin, I think we've determined that electronically we know all council members are present, so we can dispose with an awkward roll call.
Yes, sir.
Each of the council members received a copy of the minutes of our last meeting. If you'd like to look those over for any corrections or additions, or I'll accept a motion if they be approved.
Motion, Mayor.
I'll
Thank
second.
you. Motion's been made and seconded, Ms. Early. If there are no corrections, all in favor say aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Great, then those carry. Each council member also in your packet should have received a copy of our latest check register. If you could indicate if you received that, please. Thank you. Okay, we're at that part of our meeting where we invite the public to join us for public comment. And just for our guest benefit, we really enjoyed this section of the council meeting when we can do it in person. It's been a real challenge via Zoom, and frankly, probably not enough citizens have addressed us while we've been on Zoom. But during council comments, we think it's appropriate that we give any citizen about 4 to 5 minutes, Mr. Emerson, to make comments to the council, and would be glad to give the floor to you at this time.
Ladies and gentlemen of the council, thank you for this opportunity. Just wanted to come here tonight just to talk to you about a few things. You should have received a letter. I guess this one came after your council packets were put together, but you should have received like a letter from me. It's gonna have some things that I'm going to be referencing as I talk. You can just read along with me. But this is kind of in regards to, last council meeting. and myself as a citizen, and also somebody that has deployed and was sent to a region in Afghanistan where I had to earn the trust of the people there, and just how valuable the trust was. And so some of the things that I'm going to be talking with you tonight are very, very sincere. And I believe they could lead to some healing within the community, and can also build some trust back as well. So one of the things is when faced with talks of resignation, and also to not undermine the election process, it can be hard to reach common ground. Diversity training alone will not be the solution for Georgetown to come together on this divided issue. However, accountability for our actions and willingness to learn from them can bridge the gap. Consider these ideas with Georgetown code used as an inspiration. Section 2205, parentheses 2 says that whenever the public perceives a conflict between the private interests and public duties of a city officer
Mr.
and
Emerson?
employee, the confidence is imperiled. Here's a problem-solving idea for you as a council. Create a proactive approach to protect future public trust and also governing body. Section 2340, parentheses 5, the Ethics Council can render advisory opinions to officers and employees whether a given set of facts and circumstances would constitute a violation of any provision of the division. Another problem-solving idea. The Ethics Board can investigate the situation on their own or upon request from the council. Section 2343, parentheses H, parentheses 3. In writing, this Ethics Commission can also recommend to the executive authority.
Mr. Emerson?
Yes.
I'm going to. Can you hear me,
Yes,
sir? I was going to suggest we're having a real hard time hearing you. Your voice is really garbled. What might really help is if you disconnected from the video and you called in on your phone. If you look at the email invite, there's an audio only link, but we're really having a hard time hearing what you're saying. It sounds a little bit like a robot. And Mayor, you're muted, sorry.
Yeah, Mr. Emerson, it appears that your comments are primarily directed at ways to change or improve.
Yes.
I was going to suggest we're having a real hard time hearing you. Your voice is really garbled. What might really help is if you.
Okay.
And can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Okay.
Yes.
What I was going to suggest, Mr. Emerson, if
All right.
given the transmission a little bit of difficulty, it appears from your letter and from your comments that you're interested in our ethics ordinance and the way it's
Yes, sir.
and the way that it might be.
Yes, they are.
We're going to undertake a review of our ethics ordinance.
You're able to hear me now?
And would be glad to invite you to that conversation at that time. But if that might be a better way to work tonight, if people can't hear you very well. Is that satisfactory to you,
Okay.
Mr. Emerson?
Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. I apologize both to Mr. Emerson and the council. This is a difficult way to communicate at times.
Couldn't hear.
But we will, Mr. Emerson, assure you that we will review the written comments that you've given us and invite you to the conversation when we undertake that review of the ethics ordinance. So thank you for that. If I could move on to mayor's comments, and unfortunately I have several of them tonight. From your printed agenda, you'll see under mayor's comments that we need to take action to cancel the December 28th council meeting. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved, Mayor.
Thank you, Marvin. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Thank you. I think that, I'm not sure who that came from. Do you have a second, Devin?
We'll give it to Todd.
Okay, thank you. There are no questions on that cancellation. All in favor say aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Thank you. You also have in your packet an executive order for a number of board appointments. And what we've restricted these appointments to tonight are those who were eligible for reappointments to the boards that they've been serving on. We typically will give, if someone has attended the meetings and has made an effort on the board, we'll give them an additional term. So we had a whole bunch of board appointments to make tonight. I've divided them up for all of the reappointments that are pretty direct and obvious to be made tonight. And all of the vacancies I will appoint at the first meeting in January. It'll give us a little more time to make those appointments, collect their resumes, and be able to provide those to the council before you're asked to vote on it. All of these are routine, except the ones that I'll draw your attention to. We are reappointing 2 members of the Tourism Commission that have already served what would normally be what our term limits would be. We're doing the same thing with 2 airport board members. But Devin and Andrew have looked at the statutes, and specifically under state law, those 2 boards are excluded from term limits. In both cases, these board members are very integral to their function on the board. So we've recommended them for reappointment tonight, and they're included in that EO. And I'd be glad to answer any questions about those or entertain a motion to approve the EO.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve those.
Thank
I'll
you, Todd.
second, Mayor.
And seconded, Connie, thank you. And if there are no questions, all in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. Are there any opposed? Good. Item 3 is an emergency order approving part-time employees at the 911 center. The 911 center is strapped for manpower the same way other
Did a good job down there.
are. And this takes advantage of some very precise budgeting reallocation to be able to make this work for a period of time and give 911 some needed manpower without further altering their budget. Robert, did I state that fairly? Good. If there are any questions, I'll ask for help in getting them answered, but otherwise I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Mayor, I just wanted to point out you got Brian Moore on here with you too.
Oh, Brian, I'm sorry. I did not see you down there. Of course, I would have called upon you to help explain this.
I didn't see him either, Mayor. My bad.
Okay. So the director of 911 is on the call with us. Brian, is there anything that you'd like to add to what I explained?
Nothing really else to add other than the fact that these part-time positions are absolutely necessary, especially in the situation that we're in personnel-wise, as far as, outbreaks, people being off because family members are exposed, direct contact exposures. We're pretty strapped, just like you said.
Okay. Brian, thank you for that. And I apologize for not calling on you first on that issue.
Hey, Mayor.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
How many positions or part-time are we looking at?
Brian, go ahead.
We're asking for 2 part-time positions.
Okay. That's not a whole lot. Is that enough?
2 will help tremendously.
Marvin,
Brian?
more is
Yes.
actually needed, but this works with the budgeting we can do as it exists today.
Okay.
And we've taken just a little bit of latitude, not from council review, but just we're trying to make this work for Mr. Moore.
Brian, are they going to be trained already? Do you have a couple people that will benefit you, or will you have to train them?
There's 2. Make sure I'm not muted. There's 2 that have shown interest that have already been with the Georgetown 911 Center. So the training will be very minimal, almost like a refresher to bring them back on board.
Awesome. Mayor, I'll make a motion for the 2 part-time positions.
Thank you.
Second,
And I
Mayor.
seconded.
And second, Marvin, I think that was Marvin. I'm not sure. It is now. If there are no questions about that, all in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. Are there any opposed? Okay, those are the printed mayor's comments. I've got another page for us. Just some updates that I thought were important to share with you. As you've all either seen or had the opportunity to drive on it, the Georgetown bypass is now open and is complete. And I just wanted to mention to this council and a whole lot of other people how important that 32-year process has been. And especially how many different people have contributed to it. How many mayors have made a positive contribution to this project over 32 years, how many council members. We've had, I think now that this thing's completed, we will have had seven different governors involved. This has been a long undertaking. We've had state representatives and state senators. Certainly Senator Thayer has been a champion of this project, and many others. So every county judge, in particular one that served for a very long time, Tammy, and every mayor and even this council should feel a lot of pride. Karen, you had a key role during a point in time on that. Mm-hmm. It's a big deal for the community, and there are thanks for everybody that was involved. And we'd be remiss at the end if we didn't say thank you to the Scott County Fiscal Court for putting a bow on top with the roundabout. And the county did that at their expense, which was an add-on. So everybody from the council to the court to a lot of people for 32 years, congratulations on the bypass getting open.
Good.
Second thing I wanted to bring up, I couldn't make mayor's comments without at least mentioning where we are as a community with COVID-19. I'm very pleased from a local point of view that our restaurants got to open today. It's a positive step. I'm brokenhearted that as a nation, we're having more people die daily than died at 9/11 in this disease. So I urge our folks to continue to be very careful. Also wanted to give you just a quick update on what little we know about the vaccination availability and schedule for Georgetown and Scott County. We've seen in the news graphic articles about detailed plans being made. We now know that the vaccination that comes to Scott County for the first round of vaccinations will be the Moderna vaccine, which is a little easier to handle, I understand, than the Pfizer vaccine. A lot of optimism that by the week of Christmas or the week just after Christmas, that those in senior facility, living facilities can be vaccinated. And then the week after that, it will go to frontline medical workers and those first responders that wish to take the vaccination. So there is tangible progress and a timeline now. So we'll keep you informed of how that rollout goes. Number three, just to touch on the landfill legal matters that we mentioned to you before, where the city and the county have each been sued in federal court concerning landfill issues by Waste Services of the Bluegrass. We have filed our motion to dismiss. The other side has replied to our motion to dismiss. And our KLC insurance matter is not resolved at this point. Just a brief update that I think I can safely give you just to summarize that litigation. Next comment, and on any of these, please stop me if there's a question, but I'm trying to get through this and be aware of your time. Concerning the South Sewer Line project, you're aware that those bids came in higher than we anticipated. And we now have the strategy is now to wait until we can bid the wastewater treatment plant 1 expansion, so we can work with 2 known numbers to be able to figure out the fine details of that financing. The wastewater plant expansion is very close to being bid. Chase, what is that date?
Mayor, we will advertise for bids on January 4th, and then open our bids February 17th.
Okay.
So we hope to have a recommendation. Well, obviously the first recommendation to the board and council will be for the wastewater plant, and we hope to have a recommendation to the board and council by the end of March for South Sewer Extension.
Okay. Which is consistent with what we had reported to you at the last meeting. The important update was for Chase to give you the bid date, but also to let you know that we have received official confirmation of the extension of the financial commitment that the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority has made to us. So that's a really big deal. As we manage the project on the bidding side, we have to keep the funding package alive. And KIA has sent us notice this week that their commitment has been extended to June the 18th of 2021. So as Chase works through these details, we're preserving the funding. Just wanted you to be aware of that. 2 training opportunities for the council. Every 2 years when councils and mayors turn over, the Kentucky League of Cities offers 2 training opportunities. The first is the city officials orientation, which is just a couple of hour thing that'll be held, I think, later this week. You'll be glad to know that 2 incoming council members are signed up to take that COO training. And then you probably got an email from KLC about training coming in January, which is their City Official Academy. And that's a 2 or 3 day training opportunity that if anybody's interested in doing, we'll be glad to pay that registration for you. And kind of in keeping with that activity, it'll be very important that all of the incoming council members be sworn in prior to the end of this calendar year. Technically, if you're not sworn in by the end of the calendar year, you can be at risk of forfeiting your office. That's probably extreme, but we'd rather not toy with that requirement. So we will be having a swearing in ceremony probably via Zoom, and we'll get with all of you all to discuss that. But also to let everyone know that if you choose to do it separately, you're allowed to. Any judge can swear you in. There's a form that Tracy will have for you that the person swearing you in will have to fill out. But we can do it collectively, and we'll give you that opportunity, but you're not restricted to that. So just a caution there. And I think one of probably the most important thing that I wanted to do during mayor comments is draw the council's attention to the fact that we're losing one of our finest city employees and our longest serving city employees. And while it's a wonderful, wonderful career opportunity for him and something that is very attractive for he and his family moving forward. So it's a happy occasion. But most of you are now probably aware that Assistant Chief Swanigan will be retiring at the end of this calendar year. And that just, I can't say enough about what a loss that is to the city. And Robert, with your permission, we have prepared a resolution. Actually, it's a proclamation, but that's a technicality. We're going to ask the council to approve it. And would be glad to have Devin read the proclamation and then take any comment that the council might have.
Yes, sir. Proclamation in recognition of the achievements of Robert Seth Swanigan upon his retirement. Whereas Robert Seth Swanigan first began employment with the city of Georgetown in 1990 as a part-time dispatcher. And whereas Swanigan was sworn in as a police officer for the Georgetown Police Department in 1993, where he has worked diligently for the last 27 years, performing as a model of leadership, selfless public service, and duty to community and his fellow officers. And whereas in 27 years of service as an officer, Swanigan has held the ranks of officer in 1993, sergeant in 1999, lieutenant in 2005, captain in 2012, and assistant chief beginning in 2016. And whereas Swanigan was a member of the first Georgetown Police Department Law Enforcement Explorer post at the Georgetown Police Department, which began in 1986, and promoted through the ranks of the Explorer post, serving as post commander from 1988 to 1989. And whereas Swanigan attended many special leadership training opportunities, including courses at the National White Collar Crime Center, and completed over 600 hours of advanced computer forensic training from United States Secret Service National Computer Forensic Institute. He is an Access Data Certified Computer Forensic Examiner, a class of 2005 graduate of the Department of Criminal Justice Training Academy of Police Supervision, and a class of 2012 graduate of the FBI National Academy. And whereas modern police work is critically dependent on current, accurate information, often driven by technology, and Robert Swanigan has played two key roles that defined the Georgetown Police Department as a model for others. First, Swanigan has served as the department's public information officer since 2012, a position that put him at the front lines of every major crime scene, every sensational headline, every tragic accident, often in the early morning hours, often in front of news cameras and live microphones, often under intense pressure to get every detail right, which he always performed diligently, always professionally, always humbly, never for a personal interest. Second, a police department does not function without an information technology network. Computers, routers, switches, firewalls, secure connections to national crime databases, mobile data terminals in every cruiser, radios that need constant repair and programming, and although he holds no official title, Robert Swanigan was the man holding all the wires together in the basement, often for more than just the police department. His unassuming efforts over many years likely saved the city tens of thousands of dollars that would have gone to IT professionals. And whereas the $15 million Georgetown-Scott County P25 public radio project is one of the most important projects the city has undertaken in decades, and Robert Swanigan was the grease that kept the gears turning on behalf of the city, acting as the city's primary point of contact with its consultants, contractors, neighboring jurisdictions, and other departments. And whereas Swanigan served on the design and project coordination teams for the new Georgetown Police Department building dedicated in 2015, and whereas Swanigan was the author of numerous grant applications, including a federal grant in 2005 that received over $500,000 for mobile data computers, for which he also later served as project coordinator to install mobile data computers in all Georgetown-Scott County emergency responder vehicles, and another federal grant in 2006 that yielded over $525,000 for radio infrastructure, for which he again served as project coordinator to install a radio tower in the city of Stamping Ground and add a wireless network to all Georgetown-Scott County 800 megahertz radio towers. And whereas Swanigan was presented with Pen of Heroism in 2000 when he administered CPR to a non-responsive man with a cardiac arrhythmia and saved his life, being one of multiple occasions where he administered CPR to a person in need. And whereas his personnel file is replete with letters of commendation from police chiefs of other jurisdictions, past and present chiefs of the Georgetown Police Department, and past and present mayors, which letters often describe Swanigan as selfless, highly professional, dedicated, and heroic. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Tom Prather, on behalf of the city of Georgetown and its citizens, do hereby commend Assistant Chief Robert Swanigan on an outstanding career. Do thank him for nearly 3 decades of tireless service to his community, and do wish him continued success in all his future endeavors.
Mayor Prather, if I could.
Yes, sir.
As somebody that worked side by side with Robert, that started with Robert, I would like to make the motion and very honored and very proud to make this motion that we accept that.
I would like to second it, as having worked with Mr. Swanigan too.
I accept that motion and second. Before we vote on that, I don't know, Robert, if you'd given us more time, we'd have written more.
I don't know what to say. I really don't. I promised Shannon that I wouldn't get emotional, but wow.
Hey, Mayor,
Yes, sir.
can I say something to Robert?
Would you please?
I'll be more than happy to. Fine young man. I've known Robert since he was about 7 years old. Grew up down Rogers Gap, my son, Turkeyfoot boys. I hauled the young man around many a times, and I'm so proud of him. Very proud, Robert.
Thank you, Marvin. Thank you so much. This was the hardest decision that I think I've ever had to make in my life. I did not make it lightly. It is absolutely the best decision for my family. I cannot appropriately express what an honor it has been to work for the city of Georgetown. I just can't. Mayor Prather, you gave me an opportunity, first as an 18-year-old kid, and then again as a 21-year-old trying to be a man, and I have worked every day to try to make you not regret that decision. Some days we were successful, and some days I'm sure you were scratching your head, but I am appreciative of that opportunity. I mean, I've never forgotten that. I have never forgotten standing in what is now Andrew Hartley's office, taking the oath of office from Jack Wise. I mean, that was one of the greatest honors of my life. I could start the egg timer, Devin. I think you're going to have to, but I could talk all evening. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. We're not going anywhere. We're Georgetown residents for life. We will live here. And I'm just a phone call away. If anybody needs anything at all, I promise you I'll always be there for you.
Thank you, Robert. Polly?
Yeah, I just would like to thank just Assistant Chief Swanigan for everything he's done for the city. He's the person that takes those 3 a.m. calls, that has just really had our back. And I've so appreciated working with him on the police committee. And I know my husband has really enjoyed working with him as well on criminal investigations. And I can tell you there's no one like Assistant Chief Swanigan, and I feel he's really irreplaceable. And we've just been very fortunate to have someone like him, and I just wish him the very, very best for the future. And he's an awesome law enforcement professional, but also an amazing person as well. So thank you so much, Robert, for everything you've done for the city of Georgetown. Lots of love.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Polly.
Well, yes, ma'am, Tammy.
I would like to say it has been a pleasure and an honor to work with you for the past 2. You make our city proud, and we can all sleep better at night knowing you're on the job, and I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Godspeed.
Thank you so much, Tammy. It's been a pleasure. It really has. I mean, I can't say enough about the staff that we have here. I mean, it really does make work fun. I mean, it really is. It's just, we have such a great relationship. It is fun. I think that's what I'll miss the most, is just the interaction daily with you guys. But again, I'll still be here. So if you get bored or you need to call somebody, I promise you I'll still answer.
Okay.
Robert, just real quick, Mayor, can I just wish him success and
Yes, ma'am.
for another season in your life? I hope it's a good one. I've really enjoyed working with you and knowing you and talking with you. So good luck with that.
Thank you,
God
Connie.
bless
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you.
All right. We've got a motion and a second. Oh, David, yes, sir. You're muted. No, you're not. I don't see your phone on, but I can't hear you. Yep. Nope.
Just call me later, David. I'd love to chat with you. Call me later.
Call me up. Okay. Well, we do have a motion and a second. Thank you all for that. All in favor of this resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Is there anybody opposed to this resolution? Chief Swanigan, thank you, sir. It's been our privilege, and I think both the city is better off, and hopefully you're better off.
Oh, absolutely, Mayor. Honor my life. Couldn't say enough. Just top class, top notch people. Tough decision. Thank you all so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Robert. Let's see. So I did have a bunch of mayor's comments. Thank you all for being patient with me tonight. Item 7 on your agenda is a municipal order from for Parks and Recreation, releasing some funds that we've been holding. And I'm going to give a clumsy explanation to this at 30,000 feet, Kim, because I know we'll have time at a future council meeting to come back to the issue again. We've had $120,000 worth of repairs done on Cephaletta Park pool. And Parks and Recreation has paid that $120,000. We are holding $60,000 that was to be used as payment for a portion of that $120,000. So what Kim is here to ask us tonight, and we have prepared this MO to achieve that, is for us to release that $60,000 to Parks and Recreation, since they've already paid a much bigger bill. We will then come back to the council with a more detailed discussion about the remaining $60,000 on that bill. That fair enough, Kim?
Mm-hmm.
So tonight, the decision is painless. We already have funds that are sitting there, and we need to release them to be used for their intended purpose. Later, we'll have to have the discussion about additional funds to pay that bill.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it, Mayor.
Thank you, Connie. I know that's just a partial explanation, but that's really about all I've got for you right now.
Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, Kim, be glad to, but that's straightforward. We want to release some money we're holding for this purpose.
Is that money, was that the escrow that was put aside is for the pool when the pool was first built or not? When the pool was very first open, there was an escrow account put aside for it. Is this part of the funds left in that or not?
If you're asking me, it's my understanding that it had to do with the litigation, but I could be wrong. I'm not.
It was funding as a result of the settlement of litigation. So it's earmarked strictly for Cephaletta. So when mayor says that we have money in a pot, that
Right.
is literally the only lawful use of that funding is repairs like this.
So if we put it back, are we putting it back in the general fund, or how are you then shifting it from one to the other? And why couldn't we have used part of that money during the repairs for the pool? Is it repairs for the pool that were cost $120,000?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Could we not have pulled that money out then and used it for that?
That's what we're doing. We're reimbursing them.
I mean, at the time, because when were the repairs made?
They were made from April until late September.
Of this year?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. I'm good.
Was there, I know there was a motion and a second. Are any other questions for Kim? If not, all in favor say aye.
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 Are there any opposed? That passes. Thank you, Kim. Anything else you got for us tonight?
Not unless you have questions for me.
Okay. No, I don't think we do tonight, but we will later.
Let's not do that tonight.
We will later. Okay, thank you. Next on your agenda, let's see, from the fire department is a resolution approving an application to the Kentucky Fire Commission. Eric, what are y'all applying for this time?
Seek application for a thermal imager. It's essentially a 50-50 match up to $3,200. So we'll essentially utilize their funds, and then we have funds in this year's budget that'll take care of our half. So.
And Karen and Mark, I think that was also a recommendation of the fire committee, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Motion.
Thank you.
Second.
And a second. And if there are no questions, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? That carries. Thank you. Item 9 on your agenda is a municipal order approving the bid for hard armor. Chief Swanigan, anything we need to know about that?
No, sir. Very much needed. We will utilize that across really a couple of different of our divisions inside the police department. But it is a grant, and we would like to make. Is this the grant? Or is this the purchase, Devin?
It's the purchase.
It's the purchase. Okay. All right. Yeah, this is what's coming from drug forfeiture funds. Yeah. Same thing. Both it applies to both couple different divisions inside the police department, but very much needed. We have some expiring armor and are definitely in need of this.
Motion, Mayor.
Thank you, Marvin. And second, Tammy, thank you. If there are no questions for the assistant chief, all in favor say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? And Chief Colson, I apologize. A minute ago, I just jumped on there and called you Eric. But not that that's not your name, but Chief Colson, thank you. Let's see. We're down to council comment portion of the agenda. But before we begin council comments, two things. At the end of council comments, with your permission, I'd like to take just a moment for a comment of my own. But before we begin council comments, we have prepared a proclamation honoring Marvin's term on the council. And Marvin, if with your permission, I'll let Devin read this, and then I'll ask council to approve it.
Okay.
So, Devin, please.
A proclamation expressing appreciation to Marvin Thompson for outstanding public service as a city council member. Whereas Marvin Thompson has served as council member of the city of Georgetown from 1999 through 2008 and from 2011 to the present. And whereas throughout his time in office, Mr. Thompson served on the Public Works Committee, Payroll Committee, and Traffic Committee. And whereas during his 20 years of service to the city, Councilmember Thompson has been an advocate for the fire department and its evolving needs in a rapidly growing city, for children, particularly those who are vulnerable, the city's parks and attractions, for the Lands Run Business Park, a critical component of the city's economic engine, and for the employees of the city of Georgetown. Whereas in a controversial issue, Mr. Thompson was an advocate for the city extending sanitary sewer service to Sadieville and sponsored a resolution providing a balancing of factors and deciding whether the city should extend municipal sewer service outside city limits rather than a blanket prohibition. And whereas Mr. Thompson was a champion for installing the right in, right out only on Cherry Blossom in front of the Walmart shopping center, which substantially improved traffic flow in one of the busiest areas of the city. And Mr. Thompson also helped secure private funding for this project. And whereas we can always tell what season it is by the length of Mr. Thompson's beard. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Tom Prather, do hereby commend Councilmember Marvin Thompson for his many years of faithful service as a member of the Georgetown City Council and do wish him continued success in his future endeavors.
Is there a motion for
approval? Motion, Mayor.
Thank you. David, I saw your hand first, but I heard Connie's voice first. So
give it to David. I'll go second.
Okay, thank you. Motion's been made and seconded. And all in favor of this resolution, say aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Marvin, thank you very much.
Can I go ahead and get my comments in for tonight?
Would you please?
Yes. Very short and sweet. Thank you for that. Not going to get into a whole lot. Appreciate being on the council for what time I've served. I met a lot of good people, met a lot of good friends. Last fall, we made a commitment as a council, mayor, to take care of our first responders, all of our employees. And I pray that the two council member that comes in will step up with you six and get that done. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you, Marvin, very much. Karen, for mayor's comments, you are top left.
I am good. I just want to wish everybody Merry Christmas, and I will miss both Polly and Marvin. And that's it.
Thank you, Karen. Mark?
Yes, sir. A couple things real fast. Completely caught off guard with the news about Mr. Flanagan. I'm happy, but yet sad at the same time. It's a big loss. I wish him nothing but the best of luck, and he is truly the definition of the word class. To Polly and Mark, it's been an honor. And Marvin, for what you just said about the next phase of the taking care of the city employee, I promise I'm right with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Holly?
Okay. Yeah, I did prepare something I would like to say. From the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank the people of Georgetown for their love and support over the past 6 years that I have served on the city council. It has truly been a pleasure serving the people of Georgetown, Kentucky. Georgetown's slogan is a Kentucky treasure. In my opinion, it's not the beautiful downtown or the parks that are the actual treasures, but it's a people. Whether your family has been here for 200 years or 2 weeks, they're the people that makes Georgetown a treasure. I'd like to say thank you again. Lots of love to all and Merry Christmas to all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Tammy?
I would like to say thank you to Marvin and Polly for working with me as a new city council person, welcoming me into this fold. It's been a pleasure working with you. And I just wanted to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone. Look forward to the next 2 years. And Marvin, you have my promise that I'll be here working for what we promised in the fall.
Thank you, Tam. Connie?
Well, I was a little taken aback by Chief Swanigan, but I wish him well. And I've enjoyed working with Polly and Marvin, and I wish them well. And I'm looking forward to get busy and following through on the things that we need to make happen for our beautiful city that I love. And everybody have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. 2021 has got to be way better than 2020, right?
Amen.
Oh.
Thank you, Con. David.
Thank you, Mayor. Hopefully you can hear me now.
You can.
All right. I've logged in on my phone. Well, when I heard about Assistant Chief Swanigan, I was certainly shocked, but I wish him nothing but the best. And I realize that this is a wonderful opportunity for he and his family. And Robert, one of the endorsements that you had very early on in my relationship with you was from my mom. My mom, I guess, had Robert in school and thought he was just such a wonderful young man. And obviously he's certainly turned out to be the case. So Robert, congratulations. And we'll certainly stay in touch with you. Polly and Marvin, it's been an honor to serve with both of you. Both of you are outstanding council members. This council has been an excellent council group to work with. And I've been involved with a lot of different councils for a lot of years. And I've really enjoyed this group. It's been fun to come to the meetings. Obviously, we're not coming to the meetings now, but it's been fun to be involved with both of you. Both of you have brought a lot of good ideas, a lot of things to this community, and we're all grateful for that. So thank you both. Mayor, thank you for all you've done. Hopefully 2021 we'll get here sooner than later, and we can move on and put this year behind us. And I just want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Hey, Tom.
Yes, sir.
Can Polly and I make a motion to adjourn?
Well, we got to let Todd say something.
Todd. Oh, I'm sorry, Todd.
And I asked for just a moment at the end, and then I would invite you to do that. Todd, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. To Polly and Marvin, it's been a real honor and pleasure working with you all. Marvin, this is job number 2 that I've worked with you on many years ago at Food Town. But we won't talk about how long ago that was. So, and Polly, I'm very honored and pleasure working with you as well. Robert, we'll talk later, man. There's too much to go over, but congratulations. You will be missed. So, and Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy New Year. And I agree. Hopefully 2021 is better.
Thank you, Todd. And I just wanted quickly to say at the end of the meeting, since this is probably our last meeting of this term of office, gosh, as soon as I say that, we'll have a special called meeting over some issue. But I did want to compliment this city council on their performance over the last 2 years. This has been a tough couple of years. There have been some real challenges there. We brought you daunting financial news or an awareness of some of our financial realities. We had a couple of issues that we had to discuss and debate. We got all that work done. We helped our community get partway through this pandemic. And as a whole, I'm very proud of what you as a group have accomplished during your term of office. I think we haven't done things unanimously, but we've done things with full discussion. And I think we've always tried to follow a fair process. But the heavy lifting in every case was done by the members of the Georgetown City Council. And I compliment you for the 2 years that you've just finished up. It's always difficult when new councils come on board. And I will echo the fact that Marvin and Polly have given outstanding service to the city and deserve to be complimented for that. Robert, we're going to let you go begrudgingly, but delighted for what you've accomplished and the fact that you're going to get to stay here in Georgetown. If you'd had to move, we might have objected. And I would also wish,
place else to live, but right here.
There you go. And I would like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a healthy New Year. And if there's nothing else to come before the council, Marvin, I would like to accept a motion from you.
Well, I'll be a gentleman, let Polly make the motion, and I'll second it.
Good.
I'll make the motion.
Thank
Second,
you.
Mayor.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. And Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Merry Christmas.
Thank you all.